Hello, welcome to my workshop and welcome to the show Creations in Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and this week I want to do a favorite of everyone that you see in the circus. I like to do an elephant this week. I will show you how to do this from start to finish, and they're very popular in the circuses, and I've been to the circus before and it's always nice to see them doing the little tricks, and it's a very interesting animal. And I will show you the types of clay that you can use. There's an oil-based clay, such as this. This one I've told you I've used in the past when I was little. It's an excellent clay to use. You can use it again and again. Once you get tired of something, you can remake something, but it never hardens, and it's a great clay to use. Another type of clay that we can use is an air hardening clay, such as this, which can be bought in the art store. It hardens in a couple of hours or overnight, and you can paint it, and that's the one great thing about this type of clay that's different than the other clay. And my preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey. The Super Sculpey can be baked in the oven at 275 degrees for like 15 to 20 minutes. You can sand it, you can drill it, you can make a tremendous amount of detail with this. Once it's fired, and then you can paint it, and it's permanent then, and that's what I love about this type of clay. The types of clay that we'll be using tonight are, these are the clay balls. I'll show you. The big clay ball here is what we'll be making for the body of the elephant right here. And then what we do is we're going to have these 4 smaller balls of clay like this that we'll be using for the legs. We also have a smaller ball that I had in the back. I'm going to use this for the tail. It's a small size. For the head, I will use this particular size. For the ears on the elephant, we'll be using these. And for the trunk, which is the elephant's nose, we'll be using that size ball of clay. The first step that we want to take is we want to make the body of the elephant. And what we're going to do is take this and make this into like a potato shape. I'll show you. Just kind of work that clay between your fingers, and you just kind of want to make almost like a potato shape. I'll show you. Just keep working that. By working it, you're making it longer. So you want it to almost look like a potato. So you just kind of work that between your fingers like that, and do that. I'll show you. This is the shape that you want. This shape right here is the shape of the body. And what I will do also is I will show you what the elephant will look like. You want to make this shape right here. This is the body right here. That's the shape that we're going for. You want to make that the shape of the potato. And then we'll proceed to add the head in a minute, which is right here. That's another ball of clay. And I'll proceed to show you how to do that. But that's the shape that we're shooting for. We have, now that we've made the body here, and it's the potato shape like this, we're going to proceed to make the head. So we're going to take this head, make sure it's round, and I'm going to proceed to attach it to the body like this. You take and you kind of work these together. So I'm pushing the ball of clay into the body like this. You see, I'm taking my fingers and I'm working that clay into the body like this. Just take and pull that clay into the body. And I'm going to do that all around the head. You can go both ways. See how I'm just taking my thumb and just kind of pushing that up against the head? You just take and work that like that. So you just take that, and you want to work them together. So I'm just going to take, see, I'm just working that together. So the shape that we have right now, when you put these two together, as you can see the body, and then you can see the head, how it's attached. The next step that we want to take is I want to make the legs. There's 4 of them. So we'll take and put this down. We're going to take these 4 balls of clay here, and we're going to proceed to make these into like log-like shapes. And I'll proceed to show you how to do that. We're going to take each one of these, and you can roll it on the table like this. I think that's the best way to do it. Just roll it like that. we'll proceed to, I'll proceed to do the other. I'm going to take and make all 4 of these. Just roll it like that. It's great having the table like this because it makes you start out with a ball of clay, then you make this log-like shape. It almost reminds me of like a log that you would burn in the fireplace. Just get that, and we're going to work those. Just roll those like that. So now I'm going to take my fingers now, and I'm going to kind of pinch that. Take and pinch the clay, make it a little bit bigger. And we'll proceed to do this for all of these. This is the shape that you want. So this is what it will look like from the side. That's the side of the leg, the top of the leg. And we're going to proceed to make 4 of those. And I'm going to take these there, and I'll show you how we're just lengthening these. Just take them, pull them out like that. I'll put that one down, and we'll work on this one. Just kind of work that like that. Proceed to put that down. We're going to take this, and we're just going to work that, like, make those into that log-like shape. Once we have that done, we can take, and I'm going to take, when we're going to make the feet on the elephant. Another thing that you want to do when you make these is take this log now, or what looks like a log, and just tap it in the table. That's how you flatten out his foot. Now see the bottom of this right now? See how that's nice and flat? I'll show you that tip from the side. See how that made a nice flat foot? It's an easy way of making the feet. And we'll proceed to do that on the other 3. So I'm going to take these, tap these on the table like this. I'm going to proceed to do it with the other 2. Take and do that. And then we'll do the final leg like this. So as you can see, it's nice and flat. So we'll proceed to put these on the elephant now. What we're going to do is take the elephant now, and we're going to take and add these legs to the body. So you see this here, we're going to take this leg and kind of push it in to the body of the elephant in the front. We're doing the right front leg. So then what we'll also want to do too is we'll take this, and we'll work this. Just kind of see I'm working the leg, attaching it from both sides. That way it gets securely attached. We're going to proceed to make the other leg, and I'll show you how to attach that. We'll take and we'll add this leg on the other side here. And this is the left front leg. And you can just kind of take and work that in like that. And just kind of, and we'll go from both sides. See, I'm pressing that in to the body of the elephant. And you want to press that in like that. Just kind of push that in like that. The next step that we'll proceed to do is we're going to take and do the hind legs. So this is going to be the hind leg on the right. It's going to be the right rear leg. So we'll just take and push that in like that. We'll just kind of push that in. And I'm going to kind of go to the other side too and push here too, because we want to make sure that we get that attached nice and securely. Kind of work that in like that. And then for the final leg, we're going to take this and I'm going to place it on this side like that. And we're going to attach it. Just kind of work that in like that. Get it attached to the body of the elephant. Just take and pinch the clay into the body. I'm going to go around and do it from the bottom too. But you're using your fingers. You can use your toothpick to do this too. So now that we have that done, We'll stand up our elephant like this. I just want to kind of see that he stands up okay now that he's attached. The next step in this elephant we're going to do is we're going to make his tail. So we're going to take this little ball of clay here, and what we're going to do is roll it on the table. And I'm going to proceed to put this down on the table, and we're just going to roll it like this. Like I said, this table comes in real handy when you got to make things like this, because it helps us get a start. And what we do is I'm going to pick this up now, and when I'm finish kind of work it with my fingers, we just kind of want to round it out. So maybe make it a little longer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and attach it to the back of the elephant approximately in this location. So you just take that and just kind of work the clay in like that to attach the tail. The next step that we want to take is, I want to show you something. We're going to try to make the spine of the elephant. So we're going to take the top of the elephant. I'll show you on the one that's already painted. The elephant right here. See how this is kind of like narrow in here? See how that, if you look at that, if you look at it from the side, what I did is I kind of pinched it with my fingers like this to pull that up. So that's what it looks like from the side, and that's what it will look like from the top. And then from here, I think you can kind of see how it almost has almost like almost like a roof on a house. See how it kind of goes up like that? That's probably the best way to describe it. We're going to do that with our elephant. What I'm going to proceed to do now is take this elephant and just take and pinch that top part of the clay like this to create that spine. So you pinch it between your thumb and your finger, and you want to create that spine. It's a very simple technique, and you just kind of work it like that to make the elephant's spine. So when you're through, this is what it will look like from the side. This is what it will look like from the top. See how the spine, how it is? I'll show you from here. See how that is? How it's raised? That's what you want to do for the spine on the elephant. It's a very simple technique. And the next step that we want to take for our elephant, let's see, I want to just kind of see what he looks like from the side, is we're going to do the trunk. So we're going to take this ball of clay here, and we're going to take this and roll this on the table like this. Just kind of roll it. Now this, it will look like a log, but it'll almost look like a really long, skinny log. So we're going to take, and as we do this, I'm just going to kind of pinch it and keep it. You want to keep it round. We might even have to take some of this clay off. There might be too much clay here. But I'm going to show you, we're going to just keep pinching it. And then we're going to take, and we're going to place it on the nose of the elephant right here. So what I'm going to do is take and kind of pinch that clay into the front of the elephant. You just kind of attach it in the front. So you're going to just work that in. So what I'm going to do now too is I'm going to look and say, this might be too long. So what I can do, you can add and subtract clay. In this instance, I'm going to take and pinch off part of the clay on the bottom of the nose. So you just kind of pinch that off and take it away because there was a little too much clay. So what I'm going to do is just kind of work this a little bit. You just take and pinch that. And I'm going to maybe work that into the head a little bit. You can go from both sides. See how you can go this way, and then you can come back this way. But I want to make sure that the trunk is approximately the right size. Don't be so much concerned with the proportions now. I'm just showing you some new techniques to kind of make this. And then at the end of the elephant's trunk, I'll show you, we want to make almost like a little finger. So you take and pinch this like this. I'll try to do that from the side. So you kind of pinching it like that. And it almost looks like like a little finger. That's how they pick up, if they have a peanut or something, that's how they'll pick up the peanuts and things. So you get that, it's almost like think of it as like a little finger on the tip of his trunk. So once that's completed, what we're going to do is we're going to add the ears to the elephant. We're going to take these two balls of clay here, and I'm going to show you, we're going to take in between our fingers, and we're going to just kind of pinch this to make it flat. So what I'll do, see I'm just kind of pinching that, because an elephant's ears are almost like round. So we just kind of flatten it out and pinch it like this. See, I'm kind of working that shape. The shape that we're looking to get to, as I'll show you on the finished elephant right here. See this shape here? This is the shape that we want for the ears. See how it's kind of rounded? And we want the same for the other side. And we'll proceed to make that shape, and that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to take and make the other ear right here. We're going to flatten this out. So you kind of see I'm working that between my fingers and flattening out. Make it nice and flat. Almost think of like a pancake. You know how a pancake is flat? You want to just kind of pinch that between your fingers like that. See how you get that rounded shape? That's going to end up being the front part of the ear. So just kind of pinch it like that. And we're then going to attach this to the elephant's head. I'll show you how to do that. We're going to I want to look and make sure this is approximately the right size. We're going to take and attach this ear to the side like this. So you're going to take and just push that in like this. You're going to take and you kind of pinch the clay to the side of the head. Kind of see how I'm kind of working that like that? See, I'm kind of pulling it. I'm using my fingers. And you just kind of work that. And you probably want to do that from the other side too. See, I'll show you kind of like this here. See, I'm kind of using my fingers to kind of push that in. You want it so it's attached from both sides. So the next step we'll proceed to do is I want to see if the other ear. I'm going to just see if I can make it a little bit bigger. And I flattened it out. We're going to take, looks like it might be just a little bit bigger. I want to make it a little bit bigger. So we're going to take this ear now, and I'm going to attach it to the side like I did on the other one. And we're going to work that. See, I'm going to show you. Take the clay like this and kind of pinch it. See, I'm kind of pinching that into the elephant's body. Just take and pinch that like that. And then we're going to proceed to do it from the other side. Going to take and kind of pinch that up against the body from this side. That way it'll hold from both sides. So I'm going to proceed to kind of look at my elephant right now. Another thing that we want to make is, I'm going to take another little piece of clay here. We want to make his mouth. So think of like almost like a piece of pie. We're going to take this, flatten it out, and then kind of make that triangular shape like this. I'll show you. Think of almost like a little piece of pie. That's what the mouth will kind of look like. See that? That's what it will look like from the side. But we're going to take and place that on our elephant. You're going to go from the underside here. Let me see if I can get the right angle on this. See how I kind of push that? I'm going to push that underneath his mouth like that. I'm going to kind of attach it like that. And that's how you create his mouth. What's cool about an elephant is like, this is his nose, but he also takes and he can use the trunk to like he can dip it in like a lake or something when he's out in the jungle, and then he can lift, kind of suck up the water in his nose, and they can squirt it into his mouth. It's a really cool thing. The trunk, they can grasp things with it. They can take fruit off of trees, and it's quite an interesting feature for them. The next step in the process that we'll take is I don't have my toothpick here right now, but I will use one of my tools. But you can use a regular toothpick, like a wooden toothpick that you might use after a meal to pick your teeth. You can just use that. What you want to do with that toothpick is I want to show you, I'm going to use this tool here, but we're going to make the eyes on the elephant. So I'm going to take and kind of put this in here. Put that in and kind of make the eye like that. And you can kind of rotate it like that. So I'm kind of rotating that. And then what we'll proceed to do is we'll do the other side. So what I like to do is I kind of like to see, look where I made it on this side and make it approximately in the same location on this side. So what I'm going to do is, you can see here, is we're going to push it in and kind of rotate to make that eye. See, and then you do that. Another thing we can do is I want to take the front of the elephant here, and we want to make lines on this trunk. So what we'll do is we'll take our tool, which will be your toothpick, and you're going to go like this. Make little lines like this. Just do that all the way down the trunk. Because they have wrinkles in the front of the trunk like that. So you just want to kind of work it like that. What I'm going to do is kind of put my finger behind there so I don't damage the trunk too much. And just keep making the lines on the trunk. Then the next step in the process is, elephants have very wrinkly skin. So what I will do is I'll show you, is you want to take your tool here, like this, or your toothpick, and kind of just make little squiggly lines, kind of make little lines like this. And you can kind of like squiggle them a little bit and go down like that. You want to do this all around the elephant, like this. And then you also want to take some and go crisscross like this. But do this with your toothpick. And it's really cool because it gives you that nice texture for the elephant's skin. Another thing that we'll want to do also is we want to make his toenails. Elephants would like these white toenails. So what we'll do is I'm going to show you, we're going to take the elephant here, and you're going to kind of go like this. You're going to go up and down, like that. I'll show you the shape. So I'm going to, so you want this shape here for the toenail. I'll show you on the elephant when it's painted. It'll probably be a little easier to see in that situation. On the painted elephant, see how we got the white toenails? So what I was trying to do is kind of outline the shape. So you almost go up like that, go up like that, and you kind of go, and that you make that shape. So then you can come back in and you can paint those toenails. That's the shape that you're looking for. So you'll proceed to do the lines all over the elephant like I was showing you there. Make the lines like that. You can do that in the legs. You can do that in the head, all around the elephant. And once that's done, I'll show you what the elephant should look like. The elephant, when you're completed, this is the unpainted version. As you can see here, there's a lot of detail on the wrinkly skin. See those textured lines? I'll just kind of rotate them a little bit. You might be able to see it a little better in the face. See the texture of the skin, the wrinkly skin, and then how we made those lines in the front of the trunk. And It might be more prominent on the painted version. I'll show you before. This one here, if you look at it really closely from the side, you can kind of see that wrinkly skin that I made with the by making those lines. And that's the texture that you're shooting for. Now that we're going to paint our elephant, I'll show you the colors that we're going to use. You can get these acrylic paints, which can be bought in any art store. And there's about 18 in this package. You know, they have all the basic colors. And that's what we're going to basically use tonight. I'll proceed to take these out and show you the colors that we'll be using. We want to use black for the eyes. We want to use white for the toenails that I had shown you. And we want to use gray for the color of the elephant. I'll proceed to put these aside, and I'll show you the brushes that we want to use. I have a number of brushes here, but I'll show you. There's only certain ones in this batch that I like to use. We're going to use this brush here for the body. Notice how it's got the wide head. And these also can be bonded in any art store too. You know, you just want to get some basic brushes. The size that we want to use for the eyes is this color here, or this brush here. It's got a much narrower head, and then when you dip it into the paint, it'll you know, you can make more of a point. And then the one for the toenails, we're going to use another brush that's very similar to the one we used for the eyes. We'll use this size right here. I'll proceed to show you how to paint the body. The body will be gray in color, and we will take, and we'll dip this in like this, and what you want to do is a back and forth motion with the paint. Back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth. In the elephant here, you can just back and forth like that. I'll proceed to show you how that, from the side too. Back and forth, back and forth. And then you want to paint the underside of the trunk. So we're going to get the back here, get behind the trunk. Just want to make sure you get all areas. You'll proceed to do the other side of the elephant here. Back and forth, like that. Back and forth, back and forth. We'll finish doing the trunk. Back and forth like that. That kind of motion. You might have to give this a couple of coats of paint. When you paint the ears, you want to do the same thing also. So you do that back and forth motion, back and forth, back and forth. Fill it in nicely. And I'll proceed to do the other side. Back and forth like this. Proceed to do that back and forth. That back and forth motion. And then I'll show you how to kind of paint the body. What I would do, if you're going to paint the legs, paint the inside of the legs first. See, I'm painting the inside right here. That'll just make it easier. Paint the underside of the head. And I would paint the bottom of the elephant first. You know, the inside of the legs like this. Because it just make it easier to paint overall. And you'll proceed to do the legs in that back and forth motion, as I'm doing here. You'll proceed to do the back of the ears, that back and forth motion. And you'll do the entire elephant that way, basically. So the next step in the process that we will do is I will show you, we want to take and paint the eyes. I'm going to take this black paint here, sticking a little bit. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in here. So now what we're going to do is for the elephant, See the eye here, that little hole? I'm going to take the brush and just dip it in here. Like that. And you just kind of move it in a circular motion. And then we're going to do the same for the other side. I'm going to dip my brush in the paint. And I'm going to take and I'm going to put it in here, insert it in the hole. And I'm just going to get a little bit more paint. I'm going to dip it in again. And that's how you do the eyes. The next step that we want to take is I'll show you how to paint the toenails. We will proceed to take the white paint now, and we'll paint the toenails on the bottom of the elephant's foot. So those little marks that we made, we'll look at the elephant's foot like this, and you'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll proceed to do the other one. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll do that for the back legs also. So when you finish with the elephant, I'll show you what the finished version looks like. This is what the elephant will look like. You'll see how I painted him all gray in this version here, on the painted version. See how I did the toenails? I had shown you that before. You just kind of dab each one and do 4 on each foot. And then you have the black for the eyes. See how that is? And then we do the same on the other side. And, so you have a nice little version of an elephant. And I think it's a very simple version to make, and for a beginner, it's a good way to make it, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. And I do want to thank you for coming to Creations in Clay today, and I look forward to seeing you again next week, and so long for now. Hi kids, how would you like to win some professional modeling clay like the one that I use in the show? Please send pictures of your creations in clay and we will enter them into a drawing. You can send by mail or email, and I can't wait to see what you've been up to.